and I'll share some of the things that we use whenever we're hiring. And hmm, hold on, guys. Let me share this video. I don't know why it's not sharing. Let me see. We try to share it. Let me see. Where's it being live streamed? On YouTube? Hmm. Okay, yeah. So we're live on YouTube. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna go into uh some of the common issues that shop owners have. You know, when they're just getting started, and these are some of the key things that they get stuck on. Is one of them is going to be hiring help. So a lot of times, whenever you're a shop owner, whenever you're a shop owner, or you're just starting out, one of the things that becomes an issue is trying to find help. And a lot of it has to do a lot of the conflict happens because there wasn't a proper estimate in place. And so whenever there's not an estimate in place, then you're not really too sure on, if you're making money on the job or not. And so one way to kind of fix this problem is to make sure that you're writing estimates on every job that you're doing. And the reason why you want to do those estimates is so that, let's just say, for example, you're gonna do a complete paint job, right? And on the complete paint job, you charge the guy maybe $3,000, right, or $3,500, and you just told him, hey, it's gonna be $3,500 to paint your car. Well, whenever you get into it, um, maybe there's some stuff that you didn't add into the repair, and so it starts to cut into your profit. But if you don't have an estimate to start with, you're not even sure what your profit is. And so the best way to do this is you can do it manually, or you can get a system. But let's talk about doing it manually. How are you going to do that? So what you'll want to do is you can go down to, like, you can probably buy them on Amazon now. You can buy invoicing, shop invoices. And what the invoice is going to do is it's just going to be something that gives you the vehicle information, and then it actually has a space where they can authorize the repair. So they're also approving the repair, but you want to itemize everything that you're doing. So let's just say, for example, you're going to do a complete paint job, right? Well, you want to put, okay, how much body time is that going to take? Is it going to take you what, like 10 hours, right? So you do 10 times maybe 60. That's going to give you a number there, right? Then you have maybe your paint time. How much paint time are you going to need to do that? Maybe it's going to take you 15 hours. So you do 15 times 60. That's going to give you a number there, right? Then you're going to have, okay, do you need any parts? Do you need any parts that you're going to have to replace parts? You can put parts there, right? Uh, Also, do you have any material? So miscellaneous material. For example, there's paint material, and then there's miscellaneous material. For example, let's just say, for example, you're doing a complete paint job, and you're gonna have to pull the glass. You're gonna have to maybe buy some double-sided tape for the moldings. Maybe you're gonna have to uh, get some new gaskets. I mean, whatever the material, miscellaneous material is, you want to make sure you add those miscellaneous materials there. For example, like, let's just say if you're painting a vehicle and it has flares on it, right? And you remove the flares and it breaks the clips. That's miscellaneous materials. So you need to make sure that you calculate for all that, because that's where you're going to lose money at. Okay, on those the miscellaneous stuff. When it gets down to the material, remember, if you're buying the material, you should be marking that up. You should be able to mark that material up. And that if you set up an account at any of your vendors, they should be able to give you a discount. Usually the discounts are going to be 20% discount. And what that is, the reason why they're giving you that discount is because that's actually your markup. That's your markup, and that's your profit. Okay, because you should be making money on the material. As far as the labor thing goes, so now that you have calculated hours of your, you know, you have your body, you have your paint, maybe you have mechanical stuff, maybe you have glass. Those are all labor items, right? Now, if you hire help, you can say, hey man, I can only pay you 10 hours on this vehicle. And let's just say if you're charging if you're charging $60 an hour and you have someone help you, you could pay them $12 an hour, and you're gonna still make a profit on that. One of the common things that I run into is like uh I'll be talking to guys that they have a shop and they also have a job. So what they're trying to do is they're saying, hey, while I'm at work, I'm gonna hire this guy to go do the body work, and I'm just gonna pay him every week. Okay, but what happens is the guy ends up like taking longer to do the body work. So at the end, they end up losing money. And I said, well, did you calculate how many actual hours you were gonna pay him? He's like, no, I didn't really do an estimate. I just gave a price. Also, too, like you want to make sure that you're getting the paint code number and you're actually calling and getting an actual physical price for material from the paint store. So remember, whenever you're gonna go call and get a quote, you want to make sure you have the pin number. I mean the paint code number, the VIN number, just to make sure. And also you want to make sure that you're adding everything. So you're gonna add, your primer, your sealer, of course your base, your clear, maybe even any masking tape, maybe even paper, any material that you might use. You want to make sure that you have that on that item line there. Okay. And when you break it down, now you can see exactly what you're gonna spend on it. Because what tends to happen is you quote a price, and what happens is your numbers are way off. Maybe you spent more money on materials than you thought, and so now you're like cutting into your profit, and before you know it, you have this job that is really eating up your money, because there's no money to be made on it because you spent it all on materials and someone trying to help you. And so you're kind of disappointed because you're not really making a profit on it. And also what it does is like it actually keeps you uh it actually prevents you from doing work for cheap, because uh a lot of customers, what they'll do is they'll go get other prices, and if they see that you're not really pricing them correctly, they're gonna take it to you, and because they know you're not gonna make any money. They know that they're getting a good deal because you're not breaking down how much it is. And what happens is you start to attract more of those people. You start to attract more customers that they want discounts, they want things done cheap. They don't want to pay you extra for certain things. They don't want to pay you extra for miscellaneous stuff. They want you to cut corners, but at the end, they're wanting a top-notch paint job. They're wanting a top-notch repair, and it doesn't work like that. You gotta make sure that you're clear on what kind of work you're gonna do, and how it's gonna be done, and how much it's gonna be. Uh, Once you're clear, hey, if they don't like the price, then maybe that's not your customer. Don't cut yourself short and try to cater to every customer, because look, there's three types of customers. There's one customer that wants it dirt cheap, right? Uh, and they don't care how it comes out. Okay. There's two customers that the second customer is they want it cheap, but they want the best job ever, right? And then if it's not the best job ever, they're going to complain about it, but yes, they didn't want to pay for it. And then there's a third customer that says, hey, you know what? Whatever it's going to cost, just do it, make sure it's done correctly, and just do it right. And I don't care how much it's going to cost me, just get it done. That's the customer that you want to attract. But in order to attract those customers, you got to make sure that you have your documentation correct, because they don't want to be throwing guess number prices, and they don't want to be guessing how much it's going to be. They don't want uh they don't want like uh an unsure like completion date. So if you want to attract higher paying customers, you got to make sure that you're doing the estimates right. You got to make sure that you have a completion date, and you want to make sure that you're able to get it done in time. So, if you're not equipped with the manpower to do these big jobs, then you might not want to be doing them right now. You might want to just say, hey, you know what, like I don't have the manpower to do these bigger jobs, so it might take me a little bit longer. Are you okay with that? If they're okay with that, and they understand that you don't have the staff, but you can still get it done, then that's fine. But you want to always be clear with them up front. It says, hey, I don't have the full manpower to get this done like in a week or so. It might take me 3 weeks. Is that going to be good? If they say okay, if they agree, then boom, all that is out of the way. So they're not guessing, when it's going to be done, this and that. But you want to make sure that you keep that commitment and get it done on time. And if it's going to take longer, don't wait till the last minute to tell them. Make sure you tell them in advance. Says, hey, this job is taking a little longer. If I can have another week to get it done, would that be okay? And make sure you're communicating with them on that. And as long as you're communicating, uh, people will understand, man. People will understand that you run into issues, stuff like stuff like that. You just don't want to be all over the place with your estimates and your timelines. Okay. And then the next topic we're going to talk about is hiring. How do you find like help? How do you find good help? Well, one thing that's worked for us is that we're always like looking for new help. Like we're always hiring for new help. And so we do a couple of different things. Like we have an apprentice program where we'll bring in new technicians and we'll get them trained up on the basics of the automotive collision repair. First we'll have them doing detail work, then we'll have them doing some R&I stuff, then we'll have them doing some prep stuff. And so we have them doing like a little. What I do is I try to make technicians into combination technicians, not so they can always be combination technicians. Is this so that they're familiar with the process, so they don't get stuck on one area? And if you're not sure what a combination technician is a combination technician is one that can do the paint and body work. And so let's just say if you're going to be a painter, okay, and you want to that's what you want to do. You want to get at least some body tech experience, maybe some R&I time, maybe how to fix minor dents, maybe just how to align parts, uh, the basic stuff, because you don't want to be a painter and be stuck not being able to do any auto like body stuff. You want to make sure that you're able to do small dents, and you want to make sure that you know how to R&I parts. Maybe you know how to block out body work. All this stuff is gonna make you a better painter, because now you're not gonna be held up on any jobs. So in fact, what it does, it actually puts you in a position to make more money, because not only can you paint, but you can do the minor repairs as well. So you'll be able to, like, maybe replace the front end, replace bumpers, maybe replace a door. You'll be able to do that all by yourself. And so that's why I bring apprentice in, and I train them to be combination guys. Maybe they'll fall more into the body side, maybe they'll fall more into the paint side, but still they're familiar with both sides, right? And so the way that you're gonna find new people to work for you is you're not gonna go to people you know, for one. Everybody that is gonna work for you, they need to earn it. And so usually what we'll do is like we'll put them on a probation period, and usually like, I mean, the way it works, like you're gonna have to hire several people. Like what I mean by that is like you're gonna go through a lot of people before you find the ones that actually will commit. And that's just the name of the game. Like, maybe out of 10 people you hire, maybe one of them was going to be good. But you had to go through those 10 people to find that one. So that's how it works. And in order to do that, you got to constantly be marketing for new hires. And it's just like marketing to get new jobs. If you're not marketing to get new hires, then what happens is whenever you get busy, you're just trying to hire whoever to kind of fill that void, and then they fall off, and so now you're like playing catch up. So always be like marketing for new talent, uh, and make them earn it. Like say, hey, these are our requirements. You have to be on time. You can't miss any days because your position is like we count on you to kind of keep the process going. No vaping, no earbuds, no drugs, you know, uh be presentable. Like you kind of put these expectations and standards in place before you bring someone in, because you don't want to just hire anybody and hope they work. A lot of times if you kind of state, hey, uh we want you to come in, but this is kind of like how we operate. This is who we are. We don't allow drugs, we don't allow smoking, we don't allow vaping, we don't allow vape pens, we don't allow if you're gonna smoke weed, if you're gonna be late all the time, if just you got to get all that out in the open. And what happened when you and just tell them, say, hey, you have to be honest, man. Like if you don't think that you can do this, like don't even waste your time, because uh the thing with people is like they'll only like they can only like cover things up for a little bit of time. So for example, like uh I think in the book Mastery by Robert Greenlee, he talks about like if you when once people are in an uncomfortable situation, their true self will show. And so what that means is like, once someone starts to work, that they'll put on a front that they're good and they all this stuff. But whenever they're under pressure, then they start to go back to who they really are. And so that can be like, them wanting to smoke, them wanting to vape, them, just being late, them making excuses. Uh, so that's just the way it is. Like you can't, someone can have a really good resume and they can say what everything you want to hear. But I always like to say, hey, like, why don't you come work for a couple of days and then we'll see if it's gonna be a fit. And within those couple of days, you can tell if this person will be a good fit or not. And some of the things that will make, let's just say for example, you're trying to get hired somewhere. Okay, and you're like, man, you know what, Stan, like, uh, I want to get into the body shop industry, but I don't know how to get hired. How do you get hired for a position? And these tips that I'll give you um, will get you hired. Like if you're trying to find a job, like a good career, I'll give you some tips that'll help you get into the position, right? And so these are some tips that will help you get hired. Okay. So the tip number one is that you have to have a driver's license. Like you have to have a driver's license, and you can't say, well, I'm working on it. Uh, you got to have a driver's license. Okay. You want to have a bank account and a savings account. Okay. You want to make sure that you're very transparent. So what you what you'll want to do is when I say be transparent, uh, when I say be transparent, make sure that your social media is not like ratchet. Make sure your social media is not like all hood, and you don't have like you're not smoking weed and you're not posting some like dumb stuff, because uh they're trying to figure out who you are. They're trying to figure out who you are, and like everybody has access to internet, so they're gonna look to set up. So one of the best things that you can do is put your Instagram, put your Facebook, put all that stuff on your resume, and be transparent with it. Make sure that you're gonna have transportation, reliable transportation. Make sure that you're able to show up a couple minutes early, you know, and make sure that you can stay a couple minutes late. You don't want to be the one of those 5 o'clock watchers. What they do is they watch the clock, and like when it's 4:30, they're ready to go home. You don't want to be one of those guys, especially if you're just starting off. You want to make sure that you're just saying, hey, is there anything I can help with? Uh, Let me know. I'm willing to help in each area. Is there anything I can like any problems I can help y'all solve? Is there any issues? And you always want to be adding value, and you want to be a self-starter. That means like, let's just say, for example, you show up to the first day of your company, right? Of a company, and your job is to be, they're gonna hire you as a technician helper, right? Okay, well, you don't want to be standing there and just waiting for someone to tell you what to do. If you're waiting, like start cleaning. So start figuring out, hey, uh, is this trash? Do you want me to start sweeping, clean the bathrooms? Like make sure you're being productive, and make sure you're adding value. Okay, make sure you're adding value. Uh, make sure that you're not on your make sure you're adding value to the company, right? So someone reported my TikTok that it was like that I was like in violation or something. But I'm just sharing tips on how to get a job, man. I'm just sharing tips on how uh to get promoted. And someone said I look like a lobster. Stop calling me a lobster. Next one that calls me a lobster, I'm gonna punch him. Uh, like I was saying, like make sure that you're not gonna listen to your earbuds. Make sure you're not vaping. Make sure that you don't smoke weed. I mean, some of these things, I mean, they're common sense, man. Like you want to make sure that, like it says restriction on there. Let me see, your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and have restricted reason violation. Come on, man. Well, I mean, those are some of the truth, man. Like some of the truth things that I'm talking about. Maybe they kicked all my viewers off. I don't know, but let me see. But like I said, man, like you got to make sure that you're showing up prepared, and you want to make sure that you want to make sure that you're interested in learning. You want to make sure that you're trainable, you're coachable, uh, that you listen, and uh, and you're not goofing off on your phone. You're not distracted, and maybe not you're not talking about the other company you work for. You're not talking about any people. Um, and just put yourself in a learning mindset. Just put yourself in a learning mindset. Uh, put yourself in a learning mindset so that it allows yourself to get better. If you go in there and you have this negative attitude, uh, it's really gonna slow your growth down. And if you're just one that always like you never can help solve problems, you're just a problem deliverer. Like you don't bother like uh helping solve the problem. You're just saying, hey, for example, let's just say there's a let's just say your example, you're hired to be a technician helper, right? You're hired to be a porter. You're hired to do some to keep the shop organized and keep everything organized, right? And you notice like there's a small leak or something, right? A water leak or something. And the thing to do is try to figure it out how to fix it. Like try to say, hey, uh, go try to fix it. Figure out what you can do to fix that problem. Maybe Google it, YouTube it, or whatever, to try to fix that water leak. Maybe it's a small thing you can fix without going interrupting, the boss, or and causing this big stir up. And in fact, think about how better it will sound. It says, hey, boss, you know, I noticed this morning there was a water leak in the back, and I went ahead and got it fixed for you. You know, and so that's going to show that you're actually bringing value to the company. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just run and say, "Hey, boss, that there's a water leak right there. I don't know what to do about it. It's just there. I just wanted to tell you about it." So what you did was you actually just put more task on his desk to figure out. And the goal is you want to make sure you can eliminate some of those tasks and make the job easier. Because remember, the job of an owner is to grow the company, negotiate bids, market, like get new work in. So if you can help with these other activities, get those out of the way for them, you're going to be an asset to the company. So and also like don't go in with the mindset of like, oh, what am I going to make? How much money am I going to get paid? Have the mindset, okay, say with this company, what can I learn? Is this company going to make me a better person? Is this company going to show me how to be a better technician? Does this company have good values? Does this company have a good team? Because if you're around a good team, you're going to make money. You say, so evaluate all those things, and think about this. If you're adding value to a company, like if you're adding value to somebody, if you're helping someone, you're going to be compensated because you become an asset. Okay. Uh, the thing you don't want to become is you don't want to become a liability where, you're almost like a burden because you're just a problem deliverer. You're just sharing whatever problems are going on. You're not trying to help fix the problems. Okay. That's going to be key. Uh, but I mean, I know like it's hard, man. Like I know that a lot we talk to a lot of people, man. They just graduated or they have some college behind them, and they can't seem to find they can't seem to find a career. And a lot of the times they're just real picky. Like they're real picky. They want to start at the top. They feel like they're privileged to, you know, and so with any career, there's three stages you have to go through to start to make really good money with any career. You're not gonna start a career at the top. See, that's the thing. Most people feel like, hey, if I start this, I want to start at the top. I don't want to start at the bottom. But like it's with every career, every industry, you're gonna have to start, as an apprentice. You're gonna have to start as a student, with anything. Like you can't like I get this all the time with new guys will come to the shop, uh, and they want to be body techs. They want to learn. They want to get into the business. And I'm like, okay, well, you got to start off by detailing and color sanding and buffing, and then we can have you do some R&I stuff. But you got to make sure that everything's organized. So they don't want to do that stuff because they want to already do the painting. But see what it is like the detailing work and knowing how to color sand and buff is preparing you for the painting. You understand? You can't like you don't want to be able to paint and not know how to buff. So like everything that we teach is strategic. It's strategic to get you to become a master. Because look, you're gonna be an apprentice, you're gonna be a student, and you're gonna be just absorbing information. You're gonna be hands-on. You're gonna be doing it, and if you keep educating yourself and get better, what will happen is you'll transition from the student to the master. And the way that you'll know that is because you're just doing it effortlessly. Like it's just flowing. You're able to do 3 or 4 cars like nothing. You're not having any issues. You've done it like you're already going through the motions, and then it becomes fun. And whenever you become a master, what happens is you start to get more creative on how to do things more efficient. And that's when you really start to make money because look, you're doing things, maybe something, let's just say, for example, when you started off, it might have took you 4 hours to do a repair, right? Well, now that you're a master, it takes you an hour and a half. Okay. But as because you're a master, you become more creative. You say, okay, how can I do this in 30 minutes? What can I do to do this in 30 minutes? And so maybe you start to develop, some tools or something to help you kind of jump that. So now you're making some serious money, and it just keeps going up from there. Let me know on TikTok if you can hear me because the last time someone tried calling me, it went to mute. Let me know if you can hear me. Just say yes or no. Say yes if you can hear me. Anybody just put a thumbs up if you can hear me, or just do a heart or something. Let me know if you can hear me on TikTok. Uh, yeah. So like I was saying, like, see, it's not gonna let me do it. Let me see. TikTok. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me on TikTok. Yeah. So mastery is where you want to be at, and mastery is gonna take you a couple of years. I would say give yourself 5 years. But the thing about it is like, remember, if you start off as an apprentice, maybe you're hourly, maybe you're commission, maybe you're getting a percentage of the helper. Just stay a student, stay learning, stay stay practicing, and over time you'll transition from the apprentice to maybe like a key student to a master. And whenever you master something, that's when your income will increase. You'll start to just flow through the work, and you're just able to kind of run with that. That there's no limit once you become master. There's no limit on how much money you can be making because you've done pretty much every job. Right now we have a couple of technicians that are masters, and those guys can do heavy hits if we wanted to. They can do real heavy hits if they want to, and they've done it. They've done it so many times. Like they're knocking out jobs that would take 10 hours. They're doing it like in 3 hours, and these guys are just masters at what they're doing. And the way they got to that level was just they started off as students, maybe apprenticed, and they stayed with the craft. They didn't jump careers, different careers. The thing that I see a lot too is like uh people keep jumping careers, and and they don't give it enough time. They don't give the career enough time to put them in a position where they're making money. They exit the career too soon. And so uh you have to write it out like anything is going to take you um a max of 10 years. I'll be honest with you, about a max of 10 years. If you're committed, you could probably do something in 5 years, maybe six. But if you're not investing in yourself, let's just say you're hired, you get hired as an apprentice technician, right? You're a helper, and you're working 8 to 5, and you're not working weekends. And when you're off, like you don't even do anything related to work. You're not trying to watch YouTube videos. You're not trying to study. You're not trying to do side jobs. You're not trying to work on the weekend. You're saying, hey man, my weekends, I'm done on the weekends. Like don't bother my weekends. Um, it's gonna take you longer. It's gonna take you longer to become a master. And the sad thing about it is like, you know, everything that you're saying, well, I don't want to work this weekend because I gotta, I have to have a party to go to. We're gonna go out Saturday, or we're gonna go to, out of town, and we're gonna go to the game, and we're gonna go to this concert. Uh, what you're doing is you're just delaying, like you're just delaying you becoming a master, and you're getting distractions. Those are distractions, and it's gonna take you longer to start to make money. And the thing about it is, like, let's just say you're an apprentice technician, and you're not doing any online education, like you're not trying to do anything outside of work. You just go to work, and whatever you learn at work, that's it. You're not trying to do online courses, you're not trying to work on the weekends, you're not trying to do side jobs, you're not trying to get tools. You're just kind of like just there, right? It's probably going to take, like, the sad thing is it's going to take you a long time to start to make real money, and you're going to be upset with yourself, and you might not have the patience, and you might just give up because you didn't commit to it. uh you didn't give it enough time, you didn't put enough work in it, and so you didn't see the results that you wanted, so now you jump ship to a different career, and the cycle repeats itself. You're always going to keep jumping different industries. You're going to go from, maybe you go from automotive, right? And you go to body shop. Then from body shop, you go to carpentry. And you're like, oh, I'm going to be a maintenance man. And then you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to do plumbing. I'm going to do electrical. Then I'm going to, like, you're just all over the place with your career because you never stuck to one and decided to master it. Um, so the thing is, like, the when they say vocational trade, like, what's your vocation? It's really saying, like, what's your voice. The root word of vocation is voice, and basically what that means is, like, they're asking, like, you have to discover what your voice is, and that's going to be the work that you do. That's how you express who you are through that work. And uh and you become a master at it, and because you're in that zone, that's your voice, your vocation. Now you're able to make an income for that, from that, and you're able to do unlimited things that your family can benefit from. So don't give up too quick, man. Don't give up too quick. And if there's anything that I can help you with, reach out to me on Instagram. We do some, like, we have the body shop matrix system that we have. We have a mastermind group. We do some one-on-one training. We do some very deep, like, discovery calls where we figure out, okay, where are you planning to go? Like, what do you feel like is in your way? What are you trying to accomplish? And we kind of discover if that's the right track or not. And if it's not, then we have to say, hey, we have to make some adjustments to this destination because currently, like, you're not in the right track. Some people feel like they're on track, but they're actually going in circles. So, and a lot of times it takes someone from an outside lens, an outside view, to say, hey, you know what? Have you noticed, like, you're just doing the same thing over and over again? You're not really growing anywhere. It happens a lot with technicians, like, because, I'll meet a technician. They're like, hey, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this for 15 years. And I'll ask them, when was the last time you, like, read a book, or invested in yourself with, like, any kind of online training, or have you, any ICAR classes, or have you done, like, have you done any of that stuff? And they'll say, nah, you know what? I don't need any of that stuff. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know what I'm doing. But in reality, what happened is they're just doing the same old thing over and over again. So if you're doing the same old thing over and over again, eventually, like, your income is going to start to go down because it becomes old, the old way of doing things. And so as things change, and things get more efficient, things are being able to be done a lot faster. You're going to become obsolete because you failed to kind of educate yourself. A good example would be, like, let's just say, for example, if you met a house framer, and he's like, man, I've been framing houses for 15 years, 20 years. I've been framing houses for 35 years, right? Okay. Well, you get him to go frame your house, and he's still using a hammer, right? He could probably frame it, he could probably get it done, but it's probably gonna take him maybe 3 times as longer, maybe 4 times, maybe 5 times as longer because he's having to do it with the hammer, right? Versus saying, hey, have you invested in yourself and find out what the latest technology and like how they're building houses now versus back then? Nah, I don't need any of that shit. I know what I'm doing. I just stay to myself and do my work, right? Well, he might not even know that everybody's using the air hammers now, air nail guns, you know? He might not be familiar that they already sell the joists already assembled. He might not be familiar that they already sell, the whole structure, like half of the structure already assembled, where they already have whole walls assembled because he was stubborn and he stayed in his own circle, and he failed to grow. So now he became obsolete because now these younger guys are coming in and they're getting all the work and they're doing it in half the time, and they're making way more money. And he doesn't understand why, and maybe he's good, maybe he's one of the best, but because he's obsolete, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore because he fell behind, and he's still, old way of doing things. So the goal is not to fall into that trap. So Instagram, if y'all have any questions, TikTok, let me know if you have any questions. YouTube, if you have any questions. We're about to exit this thing, and it was great. It was great while it lasted. We're gonna be here every Tuesday at 7. So you can also message me on Instagram if you have any questions. I will reply to your messages. Maybe I'll give you a FaceTime call. Maybe I'll call you. Maybe I'll message you back. But I will answer your questions. And big shout out to all the auto body collision uh, apprentice young guys getting into the game, ready to make some serious money. Man, it's there, man. It's there. The money's there to be made, and it's only gonna get better. All right, guys. Till next time.